Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Erica and I do a ton of small business related content along with a bunch of crafting tutorials. So I'm super excited to jump in today's video today because I haven't done a talking video in such a long time, so I just thought it was well overdue for another informative small business related video. So with that being said, today I'm going to be showing you guys all of my small business must-haves that I recommend. Now, I want to start off by saying everything that I'm showing you guys today, I did find off of Amazon, but some of these things I got a long time ago, so I don't know if some of the same things are still available. If they are not, I will be sure to link the next best thing or the closest item for you guys down in the video description below. Okay, so now that you guys know where all the links are going to be located, let's jump into this video. Okay guys, so the first thing that my small business could not do without is my MacBook. This is a 2017, 2018, something like that. I think it's a 2017. It's a 12-inch MacBook, and I do so much work on here. I answer all my emails on here. I edit all my product photos on here. I edit and work on my website on here. Everything that I need for my small business is on my MacBook. Now, obviously, you don't need a MacBook to run a small business. You don't even need a computer. You could do a lot from just your phone, especially if you have a website like Squarespace or Shopify or any of those. They have their own apps where I can access my website on my phone, my orders at any time, my inventory. I can edit my website right from my phone. So you do not necessarily need a computer. I just find it a lot easier to use than my phone when it comes to doing like all the computer office related work. Now, the next electronic that my small business could not do without is my iPad Pro. This is the second generation, the 12.9 inch, because I wanted the biggest iPad possible because I do all of my designs on this. All of my sticker designs are designed on this, any of my t-shirt designs, anything that I have designed for my small business, even some of the thumbnails that you guys have seen, all of that stuff was done on my iPad using an app called Procreate, which I also could not do without. I want to say the app Procreate that I used to design everything was only like $10, and it's just like a one-time fee. It's not something that you have to pay monthly or even annually to use. You just pay the one-time fee to download it and use it. I couldn't even begin to imagine what it would be like if I didn't have Procreate on my iPad to design all of my stuff. And with that being said, the next thing I recommend is some type of stylus or something. I use an Apple Pencil because if you have an iPad, then you already know when you are designing anything on your iPad, the iPad is sensitive to the amount of pressure that you're putting on, which is great if you're into drawing and designing stuff on your iPad. I don't know if there are any other styluses out there that are compatible with the iPad where it would have the pressure sensitivity that the Apple Pencils have, but either way, I love my Apple Pencil, and then I got this little silicone case to go over the pencil just to make it a little more comfortable to hold. Now, the next electronic type thing that I'm going to be showing you guys that I feel like almost everyone has for their small business is a printer. So let me just show you guys what mine looks like. Okay, so this is my HP DeskJet 3755. And it may not look like it, but it does have scanning and copying capabilities. You just put the paper in right here and it scans it. But other than that, it works just like any other printer where you put your paper in the back and then it feeds down below. And the image quality is actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I have used this printer to print out some of my handmade stickers before I started outsourcing them. Anytime I print off any decals to go on any of my tumblers, fresh sheet labels, shipping labels, anything like that, it prints from this printer. And while we're on the subject of printers, I'm going to show you guys my sublimation printer. This is an Epson EcoTank 2760. As you can see here is where all the ink is, and you can see like the ink levels or whatever. I love this printer. It was a regular printer and I converted it into a sublimation printer. And I feel like every time I say the word converted, I end up confusing someone. All you have to do to convert a printer into a sublimation printer is switch out the ink from regular ink to sublimation ink, and then it's good to go. Now, once you convert a printer to a sublimation printer, you cannot go back and forth. So I cannot print like regular stuff off of this printer anymore. I can only print sublimation designs off of this printer using special sublimation ink and sublimation paper. Now, my next machine that I could not live without is my Cricut maker. And of course, you guys know me, I had to be extra and bedazzle mine. I do have a Cricut Explorer Air 2, but I was starting to have some issues with it, and I just decided it was time for an upgrade. So I went ahead and upgraded to the Cricut maker so I could cut out and do some more advanced projects. Now, this next thing I'm gonna show you guys, I found off of TikTok, but when I went to the item on Amazon, it was sold out. So then I scrolled down to the bottom to like the recommended items that are like similar to that item that Amazon recommends, where I found this power tower. Now, I'm not sure if that is exactly what this is called, but I call it a power tower. But as you can see here, it has a bunch of outlets. They go all the way around. It also has some USB outlets on it. It has switches for the top and the bottom outlets. Like, let's say I only want to have the top things on, or I only want to have the bottom plugins on, then I can do that. But I also love this because, as you guys can see up here, it has a wireless little charging station where I can just lay my phone on top of here without having to plug it in or anything, and it will charge my phone wirelessly. Not to mention, I love that it can just sit on top of my desk, so I'm not having to bend under my desk and mess with a bunch of cords and all that. I can literally just unplug it and plug anything in that I need right from the top of my desk. Now, the next thing I recommend you guys should already have, and that is a phone. Now, as long as you have like one of the newer smartphones that has a decent camera, you don't need to buy a super expensive camera to take product photos for anything that you're selling in your small business. Obviously, if you already have a camera or you've been looking into getting a camera, then yes, go ahead and get it because the quality is just there. Now, the camera that I am currently recording on, that I obviously can't show you guys because I'm using it, is a Canon M200. As you can see, the quality is pretty decent. I do take some of my product photos on here and some of my product videos that I use for social media, but for the most part, I do take a lot of my product photos and social media post directly from my phone so that I can just turn around and upload it. And while we're on the subject of product photos, because I take a ton of pictures and videos, not only for my products, but for like behind the scenes footage of my small business. And also, obviously, I have a YouTube channel that I record a lot for. Another thing that I could not live without is my hard drives. And I say that because whether you're using a camera with a memory card to take all of your product photos or behind the scenes small business videos or your social media pages or websites or whatever, or whether you're taking pictures and videos directly on your phone, once everything is done being edited and uploaded to where it needs to be, I move everything to my hard drive. So nothing stays on any of my camera's memory cards once I'm done with it. Nothing stays in my phone storage to take up unnecessary space or take up space on my iPad or MacBook. I have everything on hard drive so that I always have access to it if I need it later on. Now, while we're still on the subject of product photos, I want to show you guys a couple different mounts and tripods and lighting equipment that I use that I definitely recommend looking into. The first one being this Joby spider mount. I don't know if it's called a spider mount. That's just what I call it because that's what it reminds me of. But it has these three little legs here, and as you can see, it will bend any way I want it. And then it has like these little silicone grips on it so that it just really holds. I could put this on a chair, on a table. I could mount it upside down if I wanted to. And this is just really great for on the go because, as you guys can see here, it's pretty small, pretty thin, and I can just put this in any one of my purses or bags. So if I want to film anything like behind the scenes for my small business, like let's say I'm downstairs baking some freshies, or maybe I'm down in my basement making tumblers and I don't have like a good spot for like an actual tripod to go to, this small little mount can just pop on anywhere. You can bend it any way you want. So this was really awesome. Like when I started doing a lot of like overhead shots, like let's say I'm doing a craft or I'm showing how to make my freshies or I'm just doing any behind the scenes videos, I could angle my phone right above whatever I was working on so that they could see the best possible view of the products that I was working with. Now, I will say I did have to buy this little mount attachment at the top here. I bought this for my phone to actually go in so I could record using this little mount or take pictures using this little mount, but I did have to buy this little attachment. It comes just like this, like for a regular camera to go on, so I could just put my camera on this if I wanted to, and sometimes I do, but for the most part I use this for my phone, so I just keep this little attachment on it. Now, after a while I realized that my overhead shot could get a lot better, because unless I had something to attach this mount to up high, if it's setting on the table where I'm working on something, that's not much space below the phone and the product, so it's a pretty close shot. So if I needed it to be a wider angle, I would have to find something to mount this way up high until I got this table mount. Now, as you can see, this part right here is what goes on your table, so it is adjustable, so it can go on any table or cabinet that I'm working with, and it is adjustable, so my phone goes in this part, and this can fit any phone that you're using. But once you attach this to the table, you put your phone in the top part. You can bend this, lower it, get it higher, however you need it to get those overhead views of your product. Now, if you take a lot of product photos, I definitely recommend getting some good lighting so that your product photos or your behind the scenes videos like actually look good, because you would be surprised at how the lighting affects the quality of the image and the video. So if you can, definitely get some of these umbrella lights or box lights, whatever, but you could always just use a bunch of lamps around your house, as long as they're not like the yellow lights and you get like the bright white ones that are gonna actually light up your product photos. But if you don't want to invest your money into some box lights or some umbrella lights for your product photos or behind the scenes videos, then I at least recommend getting yourself a ring light if you don't have one already. Now, they make a ton of different ring lights in a ton of different sizes, some that are small enough to just clip on your phone. Now, I got this one that is also like on a tripod that can obviously adjust, but it also has this little mount here that your phone can go on. I could take this little attachment off and I could put my camera on this if I wanted to. But I love this because not only is it like more portable than like the umbrella lights and the big old box lights, but this specific ring light has a bunch of different settings. Yellow, I can make it more of like a white light. I can change the brightness of the actual light itself. And if you have a social media for your small business, then these are definitely great to take not only those product photos, but especially for any videos, behind the scenes footage that you guys might be doing. If you guys have an Instagram or a Facebook or a TikTok and you're making those types of videos, or you're doing lives to show off your products or to show how you make your products, then this is a great option for you. Now, one thing that I catch myself using all the time is this backdrop that I ordered off of Amazon. I actually got 2 of these. I originally got these when I was doing craft fairs frequently, and I had these as backdrops in my craft fair booth. But I have this one on top of a table, which is awesome because it just makes this basic folding table look so much better here in my craft room. But also I use this to put a lot of my products on, and I take a lot of product photos on here because it just looks so nice. And while I'm over here talking about this table anyways, I might as well show you guys what's on this table that I couldn't live without. So first, I have my heat press. I got this a few months ago when my other heat press started having some issues, and I just thought it was time to upgrade because my other heat press was only like a 12 by 15 inch or something like that, whereas this one is a 15 by 15, and instead of it being a swivel heat press, this one is a clamshell, so it is so much easier to actually work with. And of course, you guys can already see the leopard spots. I just used some heat resistant paint to paint these on just so it could match the rest of my stuff. Now, if you have a heat press, you probably do a lot of like shirts, or you work with HTV or sublimation, a lot of stuff like that. So with that, I will recommend this tape dispenser, which I also got off of Amazon. So as you can see here, I have my heat resistant tape in the back, and then it has this little knob on it right here. I turn the knob, and then it cuts individual pieces of tape for you. So I'm not sitting there trying to cut it or mess with it and rip it on the tape dispenser and risk like hurting my thumb or my nail or something. This cuts it into pieces for you. How amazing is this? And it actually has multiple spots to put like different size rolls on if you need multiple sizes on here, but I typically just use this size, so this is the one that I just keep in here all the time. Now the next thing I want to show you guys is this paper dispenser holder, whatever you want to call it. And like everything else, I got this off of Amazon. Now it can stand up on your table, but I obviously wanted more space to work with, so I just mounted it onto my wall, but I just pull my paper down and then rip up. So I definitely recommend getting this if you use butcher paper or craft paper for any type of crafting, but especially if you do anything with a heat press and you're using this type of paper a lot. And of course, I can't leave my little convection oven out. This is what I make all of my sublimation tumblers in. This is my newest addition to my craft room, and I absolutely love this. Now, this was already a countertop convection oven that I already had that I didn't even use anymore. So when I realized that it was big enough to fit my tumblers in, I was like, okay, that's gonna be my sublimation tumbler oven now. Now, this next thing is kind of random. This is my full face respirator mask. It was just gray. I actually took off these pieces that the filters go in and painted them pink. And then I just used an oil-based paint marker to paint on the leopard spots onto the mask itself. But I use this anytime I'm doing anything with harsh chemicals. But majority of the time, I'm using this every single time I work with epoxy or resin. So I couldn't leave this baby out because I use her all the time. Okay, and then walking across my craft room, over here I have my little shipping station. So of course, if you sell any products and you ship them anywhere, you need some type of scale to be able to weigh out your products and your packages to ship them. So of course, I got this scale off of Amazon also, but of course I had to be a little extra and bedazzle mine. And while we're over here talking about shipping, so this is my little shipping station. I got this cabinet off of Amazon also. It was supposed to have 2 cabinet doors on it, but I actually chose not to put those on because I knew that this is what I was going to do with it, and I didn't want to have to mess with the cabinet doors getting in and out of it. I just wanted it to be open and easily accessible. So I love this because it's super low to the ground. There's plenty of space. I have my printer on here, my scale over here. This is where I package anything that I need to wrap up, which I also like because I can put my camera up here on that little spider mount and record myself packaging orders right here. And then around the other side, there is some slanted shelves here that I just have some extra shipping supplies in. But I also like that it's super low. So I am sitting in my computer chair right now, and as you guys can see, if I'm just working here at my desk and then I just roll over here, I am at the perfect height at my shipping station to work at. So this cabinet was definitely a great find. And while I'm showing off furniture, I have to show off this desk. So this is an L-shaped desk, and as you can see here, it has shelves over here. It also has shelves down here that I just put some drawers in, but I love the size of this desk. I think it's perfect. But what sold me on it, you guys, was the fact that I can lift it up, and then it is a standing desk. I can just stand here and I am at the perfect height to stand here and do a craft. So I just love that this can just go up and down with one hand super easily. And then the last piece of furniture I'm going to show you guys is this little cube storage. Now you can find these at Walmart, IKEA, Target. There's a ton of different places that sell these, but I have seen these on Amazon also, so I just wanted to mention this because this is great for my vinyl storage. I also have 2 other cube storage units that I also use to store some other crafting supplies. All right, guys, that is all the time that I have for this video today. Obviously, I could go on and keep naming all the things that I use, but I wanted to narrow it down to the things that I use most often. So with that being said, as always, you guys, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you like this video, please let me know that you liked it by giving me a big thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other small business related videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.